Записується з перекладом.
Прекрасно.
Я чекаю команди запускати всіх.
Давайте
Так.
запускайте тоді. Просто ви зараз запустите, і тоді не скажу.
Можете почекати, бо то не скорий процес, їх багато вже.
Доброго дня всім. Чи мене чути?
Так.
Добрий день, Оля, чути. Hello for everyone.
Доброго дня. Так.
Добрий день,
Якісь
чути.
проблеми. Супер. Я дуже
Добрий
вдячна
день.
всім, що ви
Чути
зібралися так швидко. Дуже добре. Рада всіх вітати. Я буду говорити українською мовою, поки наші колеги збираються. Я бачу, що всі підключаються. Дуже вдячна вам за таку швидку реакцію, що всі зібралися. Я бачила багато людей, які дуже швидко відреагували, ще вчора були реєстрації. Отже, велика подяка. У нас сьогодні буде дуже цікава і потужна розвиваюча подія, яка створена нами за участі Литовської спілки архітекторів для того, щоб розвинути міжнародний нетворкінг, для того, щоб залучати українських архітекторів до міжнародних проєктів, які у нас зараз так багато поширені і будуть поширюватися далі. Щоб ми зрозуміли, як ми можемо як експерти, професіонали своєї справи долучатися і бути на рівних з іноземними колегами, бути частинами міжнародних команд за бажанням участвувати в таких командах. Власне, це є основна мета – почати розуміти один одного, тому у нас сьогодні буде переклад українською, але я всім дуже раджу підтягувати англійську мову до більш високого рівня, щоб бути більш зрозумілими. Ось, у нас зібрався просто прекрасний лайнап, збір прекрасних і різних проєктів, які доповнять картинку на даний момент, що актуального зараз відбувається просто зараз. Хочу сказати, що у нас сьогодні перекладач Катерина Піддубна. Я дуже рада, що це не я. Мене звати Ольга Терефєєва, Національна спілка архітекторів України. Власне, я зараз представлю всіх спікерів і потім перейду на англійську, щоб вони розуміли мене. Сьогодні з нами великий друг української архітектурної спільноти Рута Лейтанайтє, Рута координатор. Рута, I'll introduce you in Ukrainian and then we'll speak in English. Рута великий друг України, тому що промотує, протягує, залучає українських архітекторів, українську професійну спільноту у різні міжнародні проекти, про які вона сьогодні розкаже. Мабуть, про Юрій Херет ви вже могли чути. Це великий потужний проект, і завдяки зусиллям Рути він відбувається, вона його координує, притягує своєю енергією до результатів. Я перепрошую, щось голос мій сьогодні не на найкращому рівні. Сьогодні у нас також присутній Даніель Фюгеншух. Даніель буде розповідати про ті можливості, які надає платформа ARCHE-E. І це архітектор, EDC-експерт. Він також представляє ARCHE-E платформу, яка є європейською платформою для конкурсів архітектурного дизайну та нетворкінгу. Це, власне, такий, як я розумію, архітектурний LinkedIn або Facebook, соціальна мережа для пошуку команд. І я вам дуже раджу уважно його послухати. Всі дані, як нею користуватися, сьогодні будуть розказані і надані вам для детального вивчення. Далі. Сьогодні з нами відомий вже в Україні Мартін Дюплант'є, архітектор та урбаніст, генеральний директор Martin Duplantier Architectes, Париж, Бордо, Львів, почесний президент Architecture Association France, засновник Foundation of the ARCHE-E Ukraine, ARCHE-E. І сьогодні з нами анонсована була Рут Шагіман, президент Ради архітекторів Європи, але Рута за збігом обставин не може долучитися. В неї ще накладка з її графіком, вона делегувала свої повноваження і всю інформацію, яку потрібно, вона передасть і розповість представник Ради архітекторів Європи. Власне, let me speak in English. I have a little introduction for our Ukrainian colleagues, and I understand that we have a strong connection with other foreign experts who want to be members of the and part of the teams. So we know that we would have a translation, and let us start from you, Ruta. Please, your turn. Words to you.
Thank you very much, Olga, and good morning to everyone. I'm really impressed to see how many of you are here, because this was not very timely announcement, but it's really proving that you do care about the reconstruction of Ukraine, and I'm very happy to see you on board. Before I start my presentation, I will just say greetings from the Architects Council of Europe President Ruth Shageman, who unfortunately could not be with us today, but probably you know that Architects Council of Europe has been with Ukraine since the war has started, so it's more than 2 years already. And we had accepted National Union of Architects of Ukraine as our observer member. And we have also developed different projects under the Task Force Solidarity with Ukraine. So one of them is Euroherit project that you are aware of. But Architects Council of Europe is also partner of the new initiatives that I will announce today and explain a little bit about them. So very warm greetings on behalf of Ruth Shageman, and she really hopes that this collaboration between Ukrainian and European Union architects will grow exponentially. Thank you so much, Olga. And maybe I can start my presentation now. So
Yes, sure.
Bear with me. It will be a little bit long, but I have a lot of information I will share. Okay. So we will start with the first news, which were announced during the NEB Lab Festival in Brussels. And this is the public infrastructure for Ukraine, a new European Bauhaus laboratory. Probably not all of you know what is the European Bauhaus. So for those who don't know, or for those who want some reminder, I will just say that the European Bauhaus is an initiative launched by the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. It's a creative and interdisciplinary initiative that connects the European Green Deal to our living spaces and experiences. And you may know that European Green Deal is a very, very big program that aims to make Europe the first carbon neutral region in the world. The new European Bauhaus initiative calls on all of us to imagine and build together a sustainable and inclusive future that is beautiful for our eyes, minds, and souls. Ursula von der Leyen said that if the European Green Deal has a soul, then it is the European Bauhaus, which has led to an explosion of creativity across our union. So inside the European Bauhaus, we understand that beautiful are the places, practices, and experiences that are enriching, inspired by art and culture, responding to needs beyond functionality, sustainable, in harmony with nature, the environment, and our planet, and inclusive, encouraging a dialogue across cultures, disciplines, genders, and ages. Now, what is the European Bauhaus Laboratory? The laboratory is a co-creation space at the service of the new European Bauhaus community for the delivery of beautiful, sustainable, and inclusive projects to improve our daily lives. The lab is where the new European Bauhaus is implemented in concrete and tangible projects. But to put it in simple words, the European Bauhaus Laboratory is an virtual platform of different organizations and experts that are dedicated to one issue, and that issue can be selected by the participants themselves. We thought that Ukrainian topic is very important and that European Commission together with new European Bauhaus community should engage into this, so we established the new lab. What is the aim of this new NEB lab? So we want to establish a hub of a professional knowledge and incubator for case studies, paving a way for democratic, open, transparent, quality-oriented processes to obtain the best design and implementation schemes for the public infrastructure in Ukraine. And also we want to connect Ukrainians who need public infrastructure and Europeans who are willing to donate or contribute. So those stakeholders are to be meeting in our lab. So we will learn, explore, and adapt the lessons and experiences of different methods of getting the best design for a public object in Ukraine. Those relevant lessons would end up as recommendations for local and state administration to amend Ukrainian legislation to ensure quality processes and results when rebuilding public infrastructure in Ukraine. Who are we? So coordinators, the founders of the NEB Lab are Architects Association of Lithuania, Architects Council of Europe, and Roskvit Urban Coalition for Ukraine. These three organizations have status of NEB community. And other founders are NEB Friends, Ministry of Economy and Innovation of Lithuania, State Agency for Restoration and Development of Infrastructure of Ukraine, and Central Projects Management Agency of Lithuania. We have also a partner, Austrian Chamber of Architects, which are leading the Creative Europe project. ARCHE-E and Daniel will explain more about the project. This list is not extensive, so we are planning in upcoming months to list all the stakeholders from Ukraine, also from European Union, and to have our consortium much bigger than it is now. What are the milestones? So what we will do in this NEB Lab? So we have already a pilot project, which is Future School for Ukraine, which aims to create an adaptive technical project of a new school for Ukraine. And with this competition, we will learn and we will map the lessons. So we will compile a manual on shaping the inclusive, quality-oriented process of creating public infrastructure projects for Ukraine. But Future School for Ukraine is not the only project that we plan to develop, so we are open for starting and developing other projects and initiatives. So if any organization comes with some idea to develop something in Ukraine related with public infrastructure, we are very open and eager to contribute. Why public infrastructure? Our topic of the lab, because the need is there and the need is really huge. The damage done to the public infrastructure is more than $55 billion. And the challenge while rebuilding public infrastructure is the community's participation, which is not satisfactory so far in Ukraine, as far I was told by the experts. So there is a huge need to involve communities more in the process of design and decision-making while creating public infrastructure in Ukraine. So how do we respond? We respond with the first pilot project that I mentioned. This is the Future School for Ukraine project. What is it? This is a joint initiative of Central Project Management Agency of Lithuania, Architects Association of Lithuania, and State Agency for Reconstruction and Development of Infrastructure of Ukraine. Why the school? Because the war that Russia is continuing in Ukraine is an existential war where schools have been intentionally targeted, not only to destroy the facilities themselves, but also to undermine society's foundation. In Ukraine, we have every 7th school damaged, and millions of Ukrainian children are without access to education today. However, we cannot wait until the war is over, because the consequences will be really severe. And people are not coming back to the country unless their children can return to safe offline education. So we need that infrastructure for schools. And today we have a unique opportunity to replace destroyed schools with even better ones, putting that famous motto of Ursula von der Leyen, "Build Back Better," into actual practice. So once again, the aim of the initiative Future School for Ukraine is to prepare an adaptive technical project for a new school in Ukraine and to promote it for potential donors. The deliverables of this initiative will be not only the technical design itself, but also the process, how we do it. So we will promote an inclusive, transparent, and democratic process of obtaining the best architectural design for a public building in Ukraine. The principle of this initiative is that Ukrainian and European Union professionals, visionaries, and society co-create future school project that suits Ukrainian realities and expectations the best. How we reach that? We are using tools of a workshop. Last year in autumn, we had a workshop together with educators, architects, and other professionals from Ukraine and also Lithuania, where we were discussing the vision for a new school of Ukraine. This vision was integrated into the competition brief, and we announced the Quality Technical Design Project Open International Architectural Competition. Why the competition? Because during the decades, architectural competition proved to be the most democratic, fair, equal selection process, where evaluation is based on quality criteria, not the lowest price, and the evaluation is professional. And that's how we get the high quality architectural design idea as a basis for the technical project. So here we are with an open call international architectural competition that calls the architects to help to transform the educational landscape in war-affected Ukraine. Top 3 projects will be awarded from 8,000 euros to 12,000 euros, but that's not only it. The winner will receive a 300,000 euros contract to develop their innovative school project design. We have some conditions. As in the whole initiative, we prioritize collaboration between Ukrainian and European Union architects. We have a requirement that teams must include at least one architect licensed in Ukraine and one international architect, encouraging worldwide collaboration. There's still plenty of time, 1 month. The deadline is 23rd of May. And here we are with a professional jury. So the entries would be evaluated by the jury composed by professionals, by architecture professionals, which are architects from Lithuania, Rolandas Palekas and Victoria Blažienė, architect from Finland, Helena Sandman, architect from Ukraine, Viktor Zotov, and architect from Sweden, which is the Vice President of Architects Council of Europe and also the co-leader of White Architecture Office that was announced as the best architectural office in 2023 by the platform Design, Carl Backstrand. And the rest of the jury were delegates from the Central Projects Management Agency and the Restoration Agency of Ukraine. So we will have Mustafa Masinayem himself. We will have Artūras Žarnovskis, who is the Co-Create Future of Ukraine Program Manager in CPMA in Lithuania. And we will have Anna Novosad, co-founder of SAVED and former Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine. So the jury is really very well equipped with the knowledge that is needed. With this project that will be ready to implement and free to use, we would really implement the principle of Build Back Better, sustainable, safe, and innovative schools. Ukrainian communities would rebuild with high-quality adaptive projects they otherwise could not afford. This project will be accessible for free. They will not have to pay for any technical design. In this way, we will help to save time and financial resources. And we will get facilitated fundraising for Ukraine's education recovery. Because in many cases, when you are opting for some grants or for some funds to help to build you something, you have to have already technical design ready. So we call for the architects to become a part of a very meaningful change in Ukraine. And it's not only us, it's also the European Commission President herself. We were participating, as I mentioned, with this project at European Bauhaus Festival in Brussels a couple of weeks ago. and Ursula von der Leyen endorsed Lithuania's projects implemented by CPMA and Lithuanian Architects Association as one of the impactful initiatives to reshape Ukraine's education. So she said from the stage at the opening speech that Future School for Ukraine initiative provides a free-to-use architectural design. It is for new, modern, and inclusive schools to be built across the country. And she mentioned that this initiative is one of the best examples of how NEB values can be implemented on the ground. So if she believes in the competition, I think that the architects should believe it as well. Here you can see on the screen the QR code of the website and also the website itself, where you can access all the competition documents, all the competition information needed. Now I've got some very, very practical information, as I can understand the main part of our audience today are the architects who would be interested in participation in this competition. So I will just run very briefly through some instructions that you will be available to find on the mentioned website, and also they will be shared with you after this webinar. So if you want to participate, what you have to do first is to register in Central Public Procurement System of Lithuania, because this is the way that you would communicate with the competition organizers. It is free of charge, and there are some instructions prepared. I will not go through them right now because you will get that information. It's quite easy. So 3 steps and you are there. If you are not there, you have some help desk ready for you. If they don't help you, you just contact people from CPMA who are willing to help you. Then how to submit a proposal. It's also through CPMA, through CVP system, but not only. So you register to the system, and then you upload some documents to the system, but also you have to send the panels of your proposal physically. So be sure that you do understand correctly. You have to upload some information on the system electronically, but also you have to send the panels to Lithuania. And I know that it could be challenging for Ukrainian partners, but as all of the teams should have at least one partner not from Ukraine, that would be just my practical recommendation, that probably post and couriers work better in Europe and everywhere outside Ukraine. So probably you should count on your partners when sending this material to Lithuania. So thank you very much. Here I end up my presentation. If there will be more questions, then you can write them down, and our team in CPMA, they are directing those questions. If we have time, we answer them afterwards. And now I stop my presentation, and Olga, back to you.
Yes, I forget to say that you can ask, and please ask and write your questions in the chat, or write the questions after the meeting by emails or our partners, and we'll certainly find a way to answer them. And the next speaker is Danіель Fюgenshuch, I'm sorry, architect, ADC expert, ARCHE-E expert, and he would tell us how to reach this platform to be a member of a professional community. Daniel, please.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Ruta, also for the interesting presentation. We prepared some presentation for you, so I think, yeah, here we go. Just maybe put it on full screen as well, please. Thank you. So ARCHE-E, as already mentioned, is a platform we started to establish some while ago, just a few years ago, with the following partners. That is the Austrian Chamber of Architects and Engineers, which I'm the president of. We are acting as a lead partner in this project, and it's supported by the Creative Europe funding, which we established to get there. Other partners are, as you can see, the ACE, Architects Council of Europe, the Croatian Chamber, the Chamber of Architects Spatial Planning in Slovenia, Cyprus Architects, the German Bundesarchitektenkammer, that's a chamber there for the architects. Then we have two universities, one in Eindhoven in the Netherlands, one in Spain, in Valencia. One company who is basically providing IT support, which is called SEPA. They are based in Austria as well, and the Hungarian Chamber. So this group of partners wanted to get closer on the date on this issue of architectural design competitions, which you will hear more about in a short time. We also have cooperation partners, which is the UAE, that's the Global Architects Organization, the Czech Chamber of Architects, the South Tyrol Chamber of Architects, that's in Italy, the Swiss SCA, and also the French Chamber of Architects. Next, please. So, as mentioned before, we are all coming together to advocate the architectural design competitions, which, as Ruta mentioned, is, in our point of view, the fairest and most quality-oriented way of procuring projects. So we are considering in this also to support small practices and female architects, because the competitions should be open to everyone, and small practices and female architects get a better chance to establish themselves through their projects. Next, please. So we have three lines of activities, basically. One is analyzing the country specifics. So each of the countries has a different history in architectural competitions. We in Austria, for example, in Central Europe, we are using competitions since the middle of the 19th century. For example, the city planning of Vienna was done through an open and anonymous competition. And so every country, every part has different ways of running competitions, and that's one of the aims we are looking at, so we can learn from each other. The other thing, the next column, is to create tools to connect experts. So basically, if you want to do a competition, as for example the future school for Ukraine, you can have a look and find equivalent partners in the country you want to take part of in some ADC. Or indeed, if you win the competition, you might want to find a partner afterwards to actually get the building completed. And then we have communication tools. We want to advocate and also promote architectural design competitions on a political level. Next, please. At the moment, we are running a couple of projects now, for example, maps, where you can see the partners on the maps online. These studies are at the moment developed, so you can already use some of them. You can also join the network already, but they will be completed until February 25. So there's still a lot of things going on, and there are just the first papers now available. There's also glossary there, and an architect's needs report. That means a glossary means that you can get a precise translation of terms which are used in competitions or in public procurement, so you know what's the sense of the meaning or the meaning of the words you're using. We also, this is already online, so you can have a look at some of the languages which are online at the moment. Then we have a SWOT analysis tool, which I will talk about later on. We have an interactive ADC map, and we established already an ARCHE-E network, so you're welcome to join this network personally or with your company. While the studies and other processes still create data and findings, the tools will be refined throughout the project. Networking with other initiatives and projects to create synergies in corporations is another thing we are looking for. So this is also one of the points we are here today for. The ARCHE-E is a sister project for us, so it would be good that we join forces and work together on this. We are also starting to address an international public through communication activities. Next, please. So ARCHE-E provides general information about the project. That's a website, reporting and report and research papers, as well as the network, interactive map, and the SWOT analysis tool, and the glossary already mentioned. What is the network? You can see on the right here a map with already a number of experts joining. The idea is to have to form transnational teams to take part in competitions, to exchange communication or information on country-specific systems, and to consult in ADC organizations. Therefore, we have 4 labels here. They are also put together on the with the 4 icons. One is if you're interested in ADC participation, you would choose this online. If you're open for a jury, if you want to join juries, you can do this as well. There is also an icon for organizations, so people who want to organize competitions, and also for consultants to be able to advocate themselves. So what do you put in on this network? You place your name, your office, your location, where you're based, your qualification, your fields of expertise, and the project category. One of the aims of the ADC maps is providing directions to national chambers, procurement platforms, and jurisdictional sources. So this is also meant to address stakeholders who promote competitions in general, not only architects as we are. The SWOT tool, that's also an interesting tool we are providing here. So there's a couple of steps you have to go through. You can see here screenshots from the website. You put in, first of all, your contact information. Then you can, maybe you have to move the screen up a little bit because step 2 is not visible at the moment. And the third step is to have an individual analysis of the possibilities. So this means at the end, we can evaluate ADCs better through this tool to find the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and have data on this. Next one, please. At the moment, we are refining the questionnaire, adding a second set of questions, taking the perspective of clients as well, which can be quite interesting. We are exchanging information and know-how on the ARCHE-E SWOT tool together with the ARCHE-E project. So the cooperation is, in my point of view, quite logical. Basically, our organization and the Bundesarchitektenkammer in Berlin, we are both partners in this project. We are all advocating for fair and transparent procurement methods and ADCs, especially in the framework of the ARCHE-E. We're encouraging cross-border collaboration between architects, and we are establishing the ideas and principles of the new European Bauhaus, economical sustainability and inclusion, accessibility in architectural processes. So the potentials of the collaboration already sketched in the proposed cooperation agreement is the ARCHE network as a platform also used by UHERIT architects to connect. The adoption of the ARCHE SWOT analysis tool for UHERIT and further synergies and joint activities will be welcome, of course. The cooperation with ACE is also important because there we have the whole range of European partners. So we have also tried to use their abilities and their data from the sector study, which is there for a lot of years. So that's very interesting to connect to that. The questionnaire is also covering, of course, design competitions. We beyond the original scale of the ARCHE glossary, we also want in the future include further languages and countries to cover all of Europe in the end. And there are other synergies and cooperatives we are working on at the moment. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can also put them in writing if that's easier for you. Other than that, I would pass over again to you, Olga. Thanks.
Thank you. That's inspiring information for us to be connected, to be seen in European Union. Thank you so much for making this platform and being, being with us these days. For all who hear me, please join this platform. For our foreign colleagues, for our Ukrainian colleagues, join the platform ARCHE-E, and you will be seen by many countries at once. So please join and be seen as a professional expert. Thank you so much, Daniel. If Martin Duplantier is here, I'm going to introduce him as an architect, an urbanist, and CEO of Martin Duplantier Architects, Paris,
I think there's
Bordeaux, Lviv.
Ruta is just putting up her hand. I think she might have a question still on this topic.
Ruta?
Thank you, Olga. This is not a question, just probably explanation why ARCHE is presented at the webinar today. Is not only to highlight the overall aim of the project and overall platform, but this is the tool of the future School of Ukraine competition. This is how we try to facilitate the meeting of Ukrainian and European architects, because in the chat I already saw a question: how do European Union architect could find a Ukrainian partner? So while discussing and discussing different options, we came to the solution that ARCHE platform would be the best tool. So we encourage you to register yourself and your office to the ARCHE platform, and that applies for Ukrainians and non-Ukrainian architects. So this is how you could meet each other. It's not obligatory for the competition. If you have already contacts, you can skip it. But of course, as Olga said, being visible at European Union level would be really beneficiary for you. So I really encourage you to join the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ruta, for this explanation, because it's a nice tool for being seen. And we will continue with the next speaker, Martin Duplantier. Martin, are you here with us? I know he was a bit late, but I don't know if he is
I think
here.
I see him. He's connecting.
Okay. Martin, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, we are hearing you, seeing you, and welcoming you to join this meeting. And I have already introduced you, but maybe you will start telling us about your mission in Ukraine, about the possibilities for Ukrainian architects.
Sure, sure. Hello everyone. So I'm Martin Duplantier. I'm a French architect and also president of the French Architecture Association, called AMO. I'm going to share my screen because I have a few things to show you and introduce you the mission that we have here in France and the things that we're trying to push as well in Ukraine. Can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes, we've seen you.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So since the start of the full-scale invasion, we've been quite active on, let's say, I've been quite active on a private level as well as at the level of the association of AMO Association. The AMO Association is the gathering of not only architects but as well all the key players of the city making process, meaning private developers, public bodies, so cities, urban planners, engineering firms, and as well some industrial producers. And this mixity and this diversity is quite important because we are trying to raise the level of architectural awareness and quality awareness in different manners, through conferences, through visits of construction sites, of completed neighborhoods or projects, through as well a number of lobbying processes to the national level, to the European level. So all of that brings people together to have some kind of a common culture of quality. And this is really the word. I was yesterday at a conference in Paris on rebuilding Ukraine, and the main word that we kind of managed to bring was the word of quality, because as you may know, every reconstruction period brings a lot of energy, and sometimes energy doesn't go into the right direction. And reconstruction periods, we're healing and repairing most of, let's say, the wrong or the errors that we have made in Western Europe in the 1950s, right after the Second World War. And this is really what we need to avoid in Ukraine. So everything that we're doing now, which is to kind of anticipate all of that, is very important because it will allow us to avoid most of the errors and mistakes that we have made after the Second World War, not only, by the way, in France, but as well in Ukraine, as the Soviet reconstruction has been a period as well of erasing identities and contexts and specificities of Ukrainian cities. So the AMO Foundation that we created, which is on the side of the association, aims at helping and providing this awareness, these processes that could be really helpful for Ukraine. So we help in different ways. For example, on the subject, on the topic of social housing, as France has a large social housing real estate, and we think that could be as well some help for Ukraine. But we help as well on a number of on protection of heritage, and we've done a lot of data, a lot of mapping, a lot of bringing awareness again to the Ramadas on their own heritage, and we are also helping a few cities, and we've signed with the city of Lviv and the city of Mariupol on organizing architectural competitions, and as you all know, architects should be paying, let's say, the price of potential stimulation around architectural projects in Ukraine. There will be a lot of work. There is already, but I think it's very important to balance and to give to everyone, let's say, the possibility of bringing good ideas in a good way. And so the way that we organize these competitions is key to me. In France, we have a very strong competition culture, and every competition is done through a short list, and the short list of, the teams that are on the short list are kind of paid off. That doesn't pay off all the costs, but at least it does pay off some of the cost. And when you're doing a competition, you're not putting your own studio at risk completely. And this is something that we would like to share as well with our Ukrainian colleagues, and bring to, let's say, to the municipal, communal level of decision makers. We also want to bring and to push carbon-free solutions. There is, the European Union looks like a big, let's say, entity, but in reality, it's a number of different countries, with each of them, and France is completely in this case, each of them having their own norms and their own ambitions. And France has decided to push really hard since, let's say, 5 or 6 years towards natural biosourced materials. And so we have seen a lot of startups, a lot of industrial producers coming up with a number of completely natural construction materials. And you see this one, it's actually a producer that was in Mykolaiv right before the war, and we got in touch, and we try to work together, and well, unfortunately the war has weakened his production completely, down to zero. But I heard that he's launching a new plant in the surroundings of Kiev. So so at the studio and with our team in Lviv, we are pointing out and mapping all of the resources, natural resources, but also the companies that are able to, let's say, produce construction materials that are relevant towards this new Bauhaus paradigm, new European Bauhaus, saying that we have also the duty to build back better, of course, and to embody a number of actors in Ukraine that are not only architects, but are also that are industrial linked, and linked to this natural paradigm, of this biosourced paradigm. So here you can see a number of maps that we have done on different cities: Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Mykolaiv, Sumy, Mariupol, on the loss of heritage, on the also educational dimension, as the subject that unites us or that gathers us today is a link to schools. Well, this is really something that we have studied. We have published a small book dedicated to all the standards of schools in Ukraine and their potential adaptation on, let's say, on the short-term adaptation, so that kids can come back to school. And then we're also helping the city of Izium to rethink its development, to look at what can be kept, what should be, let's say, rethought and redeveloped, and more in general ways. Our action is really to anticipate all these different issues of reconstruction, of common works and studies, of imagining a post-carbon Ukraine that can be a pioneer, not only for the country, but as well for Europe in general, for the continent, as you are facing in Ukraine all of the crises that we will face very soon in Europe, meaning not only the military crisis, but as well the social crisis, the inclusivity crisis, the climatic, of course, and the energy crisis. So all of that will be very useful for the rest of the continent, and I think there is definitely a sense to share all of that and to help the country as much as we can to reuse, rethink, and be very proactive with you. I think that's it for the time being, but I'm very open to any kind of question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Martin. You're a big friend of Ukraine. I haven't that luck to see you in person, but I've heard a lot about your helping our society and our cities. So thank you so much for this inspirational part. And if someone has questions, I see some questions, but they are already answered in the chat about the ARCHE-E platform. I already have entered the platform, and it's very easy, so it's not so difficult as you may think. Let's let's continue our. Thank you so much, Martin. Let's continue our presentations with the representative of Architects Council of Europe. If Ruta, if this expert is with us, because you probably know better who and how to introduce the person, the speaker, next speaker.
Yeah, I was the one to say the greetings on behalf of Ruth Shageman, and I did that at the very beginning of our meeting. So there will be no extra presentation, as Architects Council of Europe is involved in many of the activities mentioned. So they are partners of EuroHerit, they are partners of the new NEB Lab, Public Infrastructure of Ukraine, and they are also partners of the ARCHE project. But I will just use the occasion that I can speak. So I would like to really invite Martin to join our initiative NEB Lab, Public Infrastructure for Ukraine. I think that we can do a lot of wonderful things together. So Martin, we will be waiting for your message. And thank
Okay,
you,
great.
Olga. Maybe we can turn to some questions and answers.
Yes, please. Yes, I'm certainly want to propose some answering the questions. If you have that. Oh, sorry. I saw a question about the ARCHE, and if you see some more, please. Please. I'm 1 minute. I see only answered question. I can ask my own question, but I already seen that it's not as difficult to enter the ARCHE-E platform. My question was, what shall we have to enter? What shall we have as experts? What proofs, what levels shall we have to enter the ARCHE-E platform? But I see it's easy and just a few questions and it's nothing difficult. You don't have to upload some documents or something. So that's it. Maybe I haven't seen some hidden next steps, but for the first overlook, it's quite easy to enter. Maybe someone else has other questions about the process. We can have the possibility to ask the experts, and please write down your questions, and we will answer.
Olga, may I comment, not a question? I
Yes.
think that some of you, especially those who are interested in participation in the competition Future School for Ukraine and had read the brief or had entered the competition website, you could have some questions regarding the competition brief. So the answer where those questions should go. All the questions related with the competition brief or technical specification and the program of the school should go through the official CVP system. So you have to register in the system of public procurement of Lithuania. You will find that competition according to our instructions, and then you should ask all your questions there in written. And there you will also find some previously made questions and answers. So probably you will find some answer. So this could be, questions related with the program of the school, the conditions of participation, the submission of work. Please do those questions not online, not to any personal emails, but to the system. This is the only way how we can answer them. Thank you very much.
And start the part of ARCHE-E in the question sects. Does anyone already as for me, it's very hard to know more about the possibilities and the processes and the projects and the future school. Also, I'm appreciated about the possibility to be seen, to be on the level of European architects as we may be, because before the war we were good enough to work on our Ukrainian territory, and now we should be on the level of colleagues as well. So the webinar, and for those who registered to read more by in your own time, and if you have the questions, as Ruta said, you can write the questions and to get the full information about the possibilities. Thank you so much, Ruta. It's inspiring because it's like a bridge between our countries and the societies. So thank you so much. Дякую всім за те, що ви знайшли час. Не будемо відволікати вас, бо я розумію, що всі відволіклись. So let's work. Let's join the platforms, and thank you so much for your attention and build back better together.
Thank you very much, Olga, and thank you to all of you. And I think that we will share the contacts with the group that had joined here. So we will not lose the thread of you, and probably this group will grow in the future, and we will keep you in the loop. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Bye.
Good luck. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye bye. It was a pleasure.